All right, the interesting case of Suchir Balaji. This kid found dead inside of his apartment here in San Francisco, claimed to be a suicide right after the investigation was never even started. So I just went down to the San Francisco courthouse down here to pull the record on the case and see what the heck was going on. First of all, I couldn't find anything online about it. Normally I would go to like Unicourt and I could pull the record, or I would go to the San Francisco Superior Court website and I could search by name, nothing. So I was able to get down here and he walked me through it and I got the records. I read the court case. It was filed on January 31st. Now here's what I read. So here's what I read. They filed the case on the 31st. And what happened was the reason the case is going on is because the attorney for the parents, first of all, the kid was found dead in November. He was a whistleblower for OpenAI. But what it said in the case is that he was actually hired he was a child prodigy in engineering. He went to Berkeley, won an award. After Berkeley in 2021, he got hired at OpenAI to work on their AI project for ChatGPT. He took the job as a nonprofit, and after things started heating up at ChatGPT, he realized it wasn't a nonprofit. They were in it to make money, so he got disillusioned. So then there was a case going on. It was the New York Times case in 2023. They had sued ChatGPT for some copyright violations, or OpenAI. So Suchir Balaji, he became a potential expert witness in the case with information to testify, saying he would testify against OpenAI about the information regarding the copyright violations. That was in October that he made that statement, and then in November he went on vacation to San Diego, went out to San Diego to Catalina Island, and then shortly thereafter, with friends, came back to his apartment, and then his mom called his apartment. He started calling her. This is on November 25th. She couldn't reach him. His phone just went right to voicemail. So she got a little concerned but didn't do anything. Then the 26th, she called again, went to voicemail. She went by his apartment and nobody answered. So then she went to the police and filed a investigative report, a missing persons report. Then by later that day, 1 o'clock, she went back to the apartment and asked the police to open up the door to his apartment. So she got there 10 minutes earlier. Two street cops with plain clothes were there 10 minutes after her, and they walked into the apartment, walked in, came back out, and said she wasn't allowed to. They couldn't tell her what was going on. They had to get more information. So more cops showed up, went back in, came back out, just told her the same thing. Well, we can't give you any information right now. We don't know what's going on. Now, what's weird is that, all right, so this is now November 26th, 2024, and so they just tell her to leave, say, we'll get back to you. It's going to take 4 to 5 hours, and we're going to get some information, find out what's going on, leave, and we'll get back to you. So she doesn't leave, she hangs out. Medical examiner comes out, and then she goes inside, and then comes back out, and she asks the medical examiner what's going on. And, he or she didn't provide the information that she was satisfied with. Then she sees what looks to be a body coming out of the place. Of course, she freaks out and wants to know what's going on. So she finds out he died. She got access to the apartment. She got the keys, was able to go inside, take pictures, see what was going on. There wasn't really much of an investigation done. Found out got his phone, his laptop, which you would have had all his information on. They didn't investigate that. They didn't seem to need that. Got his, whatever notes that he had. Took pictures of the apartment. Looks like there was blood on the floor, and there was a wig. There was a sign of a black, wig, which was foreign hair, apparent to his mom, on the floor, and blood on the wall as well. So she was really disturbed. So she hired her own autopsy. She paid for an autopsy, and the autopsy came back that he had a bruise or something had a fracture on the back of his head, and the bullet had gone in right in here inside of the forehead, going down this way, which the medical autopsy said that was really unusual for a suicide. Now, at this time, she hired an attorney, and the attorney says, well, let me get more information about what was going on. They quickly get back to him and said, yeah, we've already closed the investigation. Informally, he says in the complaint. This is all out of the complaint. He says, informally, we've already closed the investigation and we've ruled it a suicide. All right, so her attorney then, he does a Public Records Act request for the police report. And he asks for the documents, the investigation, simple police report and the medical examiner's report. He does it by email. He sends it in email to the actual San Francisco Police Department homicide division. Somebody he knows over there. He knows somebody in the division, so he mentions him by name. Hey, I used to work with so-and-so in the Alameda County's DA's office. So the homicide officer responds back and says that he's not able to, he refers him over to another website to pull the police report. He sends in the police report request to the police report website, and then a few days later, they respond back and say, we're unable to fulfill your request. Investigation is open, and they cite a government code in there, investigation open. So then he files this complaint, and he titles it writ of mandate, petition for writ of mandate, and declaratory relief. So he's asking for the court to order the police to release the investigation, okay, because he believes he's entitled to it as a public record. It's a public record. He wants to get it. And then basically in the alternative, declare that they have to give it to him. If it's not a public record and it's some sort of a private information, it's for this investigation, and declare that the court has to give it to him for the investigation into their son's murder. I say murder, it's premature to say that because right now the San Francisco police call it a suicide. They quickly called it a suicide. But what's unique here in the complaint, the attorney says that no one from the SFPD homicide has contacted his office or the parents regarding Suchir Balaji for the phone, the laptop, which would have all of his important information on it, or, well, this is what he wanted to know, investigating the friends that he went on vacation with the weekend before. Let's find out about what they had to say about his suicide. Was he depressed? Apparently they've done no communication with any of them from homicide. Why wouldn't they ask for these things? So these are what he wanted to know in the police report. What did you guys investigate? What information did you find? Apparently they haven't done any of that. So the sun just came along the Civic Center here, so it's kind of messing up my light. My light's bright and beautiful. So a few problems with the case that I see right now are, one, it wasn't signed by the plaintiff as required under a writ like this. It has to be verified. On the last page, it's just blank. It has her name on there, but she didn't sign it. She needs to sign that. That's got to be added immediately. Two, the attorney hasn't even served the complaint on the city. It's been a month. It was filed on the 31st. Today's the 26th of February. He hasn't even served it yet. All he's got to do is walk it in there and serve it. What the heck's going on? He's in Burlingame. He could hire a process server to do it. Nobody's in, so they've sat on it and dropped the ball. Because had they served the complaint, then they could do discovery, and they could actually start sending formal discovery on these people within 10 days. But yeah, what really gets interesting is what's actually going on with this real motive. Because OpenAI being such a big deal with ChatGPT, all right, and what the mom believes is that, what the facts in the case show is that he was going to he was being called to testify against OpenAI, ChatGPT, in the New York copyright case. That was in October. So then, shortly thereafter, right, he's murdered. Apparently he committed suicide. But with this, what the mom believes to be a cover-up, all right, she definitely believes to be a cover-up, but let's just say she's biased, respectfully. But now the attorney's involved, and from what I'm reading in the complaint, well, they're obstructing justice with the attorney regarding the Public Records Act request. Where's the police report? That's public records. Where's the investigation report for the mom regarding the case? That should be no problem in giving it to her. Why wouldn't they want to contribute? That's where things start to get really bizarre. So the motive, though, here is you got this new mayor, Louis. Daniel Louis. He's a blue blood here in San Francisco. Definitely an insider. Part of the Levi family estate. So these guys are the ones that build the Levi jeans down on Battery, and they're their family is like royalty in San Francisco. So that's Louis. He's the new mayor. Sam Altman, another San Franciscan. Now he is ChatGPT, OpenAI, supposed to be a non-profit. Now what is he, a multi-billionaire off of this stuff with ChatGPT? Not a non-profit, definitely profitable. So the mom believes there's a connection between Louis. Well, first of all, she's claimed on what I've watched online, there's a connection between Louis and Altman. They're buddies. They're both hobnobbing down here, probably in, I'm not too sure if they're part of, I say Louis might be a part of Bohemian Club. It's very possible. Bohemian Club being like the elite men's club in the world. Well, definitely in the U.S. of all time, you know, the top men's club. And that is the, you know, right down here on Powell. What is it, on Powell? Yeah, Powell, Union Square. And so I would say Louis is likely a member of Bohemian Club. I have friends in there, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm sure there's some bad people in there, but I would say that Altman is definitely not. He's too new. He's too new to San Francisco, and it's a 20-year waiting list to get into Bohemian Club. You can't just buy your way in and like he is and elbow around, because they already have all the rich people and the wealthy people. It's still a 20-year waiting list. So you got to be a true blue blood and wait and do your time and get recommendations. So Altman's not. So, but what's possible is that Altman's got some sort of direct connection to Louis. Definitely potential. Well, that's what needs to come out. But ultimately, these records got to come out to see what kind of investigations are being done right now first. What's the medical report we're looking up? And it's looking like a cover-up, dude. It's definitely looking like a cover-up. So I am freaking reporting on this down from San Francisco, getting the message out there. They just, I want to see something happen. I want to see some justice on this case, man, for sure. So let's get the word out there and help this lady. Suchir Balaji. Suchir Balaji is the kid who was, I'm calling it as murdered, because it sure looks that way in reading the complaint, at least from what I've read so far, and it looks like a direct cover-up. Let's get to the bottom of it, all right? Hit the ones. Check out the interview from Tucker Carlson with her. It was an amazing big show on it as well. And my name is Gavin Mehl. I'll see you at the top. Later.